Here's a short update to tie up some loose ends. If you're not a regular viewer of this channel, I suggest you move along or watch my previous 3 videos. Don't waste your time unless you absolutely have nothing better to do. First, the cheap Chinese lathe is back in action and it sounds better than ever. I replaced all 3 bearings on the input shaft using some old stock SKF bearings. I guess you could say the lathe is now a little less cheap and about 99% Chinese. It was a pretty straightforward job after I finally managed to pry open the lid. The only problem was this sleeve. The mangled up bearing cage damaged the outside surface. This caused the oil leak, since this is where the O-ring rides to seal things up. I just polished up the other end and installed it the other way around. I think that shouldn't be a problem. Oh, and I tried to pull out the bearing like someone suggested in the comments, but I couldn't make that work. Too bad, because it could have saved a lot of time. I suspect the bearing broke because there was too much tension on the belt. These small bearings cannot take much of a radial load, and since the pulley is sticking out pretty far, that gives the belt some extra leverage. Together with this homemade belt tensioner, it shouldn't be a problem to overload the bearing. According to a spec sheet I found on the internet, the maximum radial load for this bearing is 102 Newton, and that's about 10 kilograms, a bit more. The new SKF bearing I installed doesn't have a ball cage, and it has a lot more balls. It should be able to handle a higher radial load. So if you have a similar lathe, this might be an upgrade to consider. Anyway, I'm happy things are back together, because now I can cut some thread again. By the way, I tried to cut some thread for the Smurf lathe spindle using this 1-inch 8 TPI tab. I was going to make a back-end plate for this 80mm 4-jaw I got. Turns out it's impossible to use such a big tab by hand. Not strong enough, not enough leverage, but that's not important. I'm wondering about these numbers here. They make no sense to me. Can someone shed some light on these? 27 divided by 8 times 2? I don't get it. What do these numbers have to do with a 1-inch 8 TPI tab? Second, I managed to fix the vibration problem I had with the vintage catgut lathe. It now runs pretty smooth at all speeds. And when I touch the bed of the lathe, I can hardly feel any vibration. The horrible sound is still there, and that won't change till I earn enough Banggood commission points to buy a new frequency drive. First I tried to balance the spindle by repositioning the tapered pulley. This helped a bit, but what really helped a lot was bolting the wooden bench to the lathe bed. It turns out the wooden bench just isn't as strong as I expected it to be. Now the vibration problem hasn't gone away completely. The unbalance in the spindle and the motor, they are still there, but the symptoms are pretty much gone, and that's what matters. Oh, and I also managed to improve the headstock-tailstock alignment by re-reaming the tailstock quill. So I guess the lathe is now ready for some real project. Third, whatever. I got this bigger compressor that I want to use when regrinding that Banggood collet chuck, but there was a problem with the regulator valve. It was restricting the airflow too much. So I replaced the original dials and valve with this Festo thingy, and that seems to work fine. Soon I will start filming the collet chuck grinding video, and that will be awesome. Okay, maybe not awesome, but it will certainly be watchable and most likely in focus. And now a bit of a mystery. I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what size bolts I need to mount this old chuck to a backplate. The thread in the holes is either 40 threads per inch, or it has a pitch of 1.75 mm. I'm leaning towards 14 TPI, but it's close. The size of the hole is about 9 mm. So I either need a M10 metric or a 3/8 imperial bolt, but neither M10 with a 1.75 mm pitch or a 3/8 with 14 threads per inch seems to exist. So what's going on here? Have I stumbled upon some kind of exotic bolt from a parallel universe? By the way, this bolt here is a standard M10 bolt with a 1.5 mm pitch, and it goes in about 2 full turns. And finally, Emma from Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop is organizing a tool making competition. I think this is a wonderful idea, so I'm planning to enter the competition. Also, I wouldn't mind winning that GoPro 4 camera. After all, my Panasonic G3 camera isn't getting any younger. Of course, winning is more important than participating, so I need a good idea. In fact, I need a great idea. Something that will shock and awe the competition and make them run for their mummy. So if you have such an idea, leave me a comment. Oh yeah, one very important rule. The project has to be made out of one piece of stock. Of course, you can also be a backstabbing son of a bitch or a daughter of a bitch and enter the competition yourself. In that case, good luck to you, but please do unsubscribe. Alright, that's it for this short update. I've done enough talking. My word count is reaching feminine quantities. To be continued.